Hey, this is Saidan, the coach of the Sydney Six, bringing you the draft breakdown of my team for the YouTube Challenges League or the YCL's inaugural season. I am excited to be doing another one of these Pokemon draft leagues, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to break down what my team is and why I chose those Pokemon. So, but before we get to my actual pick, this league is consists of only YouTube creators. So, if you go to if you see in the description below, I have listed every single team and link to their channel. I urge you to check some of them, if not all of them, out. Check out their team, see all the great creators there. Maybe you can let me know what team I have to look out for. But that said, with that said, let's get into it. This league is consists of completely point based. So there's no tiers. All Pokemons were consigned one of six values, and we had a budget of 660 points to draft 10 Pokemon. I was in the draft order of 18. I was 9th overall. So that put me smack bang in the middle of the draft order. So immediately I thought there was no way I could build a team on a central strategies. I really needed to draft probably more of a good stuff team, which is fine. It's the kind of team I usually draft anyway. But I was excited to do something like a dual terrain or a dual weather team. But I'll have to do that in a future league. So that said, at 9 I knew there was some Pokemons I just could not get. Tapu Koko, Landorus T, Dragapult, Garchomp, CINDERACE. There was a whole bunch of Pokemon I just knew I wasn't going to get. So before the drafts actually started, I was looking at 3 Pokemons that I was most likely able to get at 9. And that was Heatran, Tapu Bulu, and Tapu Fini. So when the draft started, all the obvious Pokemons I said, was time to go, and I was super excited. Heatran is one of my favorite Pokemons, but just before it got to my turn, number 8 took Heatran, and I was a little bit devastated, I guess. But I was prepared for that to happen, to be honest, and I could have gone Tapu Bulu or Tapu Fini, but there was one Pokemon that I just mentioned actually that I thought would never come to me, did come to me, and I was surprised. I actually checked about 3 times to make sure that that it wasn't drafted. And the Pokemon, so my first pick is CINDERACE. So I don't know what is it about CINDERACE. It always seems to come to me. This is actually marks that CINDERACE is actually the Pokemon I've probably drafted the most in draft league. This is actually the 5th singles draft league in a row that I have drafted CINDERACE. So I am excited to use it again. I am very familiar with this Pokemon. It is I don't even know what to say. Well, it can fit many roles. It can be a support, it can be a sweeper, it can be a wall breaker. I have used it with many items, like mostly heavy duty boots. I've used it with Choice Band, Life Orb, Expert Belt, Assault Vest. It has so many coverage. It has many powerful moves, with lots of coverage, and on top of that, its ability is what makes it really good. The Libero ability allows all his attacks to get the special attack bonus or stab, and it allows, because of its speed, it's a very fast Pokemon. I can use Libero to mitigate damage, so it often seems bulkier than than the stats tells it, because of how fast it is. I don't have to fully invest in speed in draft leagues usually, and the mitigation of damage through changing types. So I'm super excited to have CINDERACE. I can't believe it got to me at number 9. But with that said, I was not expecting to get CINDERACE, and I wasn't planned. I don't have a full plan. I never have a full plan going into a draft, but I usually have some idea how I was gonna actually designate my points. Now that went out the window when CINDERACE was drafted, because now I have to consider where I'm gonna get my Steel type or Fairy. Well, I knew where I was gonna get my Fairy, but so with that said, I was looking at the draft, and a lot of the Fairy types and Steel types that I like to use, or I'm familiar with using, or I think are actually good, were in the higher tiers. So the first thing I wanted to do was, with my next 2 picks, is to make sure that I have a good Steel and a good Fairy. Now I prioritize Fairy first because I think they're harder to come by than Steel. And there was one Steel type I thought was fairly good budget. So and probably is flying a bit under the radar with the rest of the coaches. So I went with a Fairy first, and obviously I wanted to go get a Fairy that works well with CINDERACE. And the Pokemon I drafted second was CLEFABLE. CLEFABLE is a Pokemon I have never used before, but is a Pokemon I hate preparing against. So the fact that I have it now means that I don't have to prepare against it at all. CLEFABLE is actually a very versatile Pokemon. It has incredible bulk, and because of its bulk, it can just set up with its Calm Mind and then do tons of damage. Magic Guard ability, it can hold a Life Orb without getting recoil damage. With the Unaware ability, it can just wall boosting Pokemons. It has lots of support moves: Wish, Heal Bell, T-Wave, as Stealth Rocks. It can knock off, I believe. So it has a lot of options. It's a Pokemon like I think I feel like a Pokemon that it's a little bit like Togekiss in the MBL. I have to consider maybe getting another defensive Pokemon so that I don't have to force CLEFABLE in the defensive position. I think that was the issue with Togekiss I had with in the MBL, but nonetheless, I'm excited to use CLEFABLE. Like I said, it gives me a Stealth Rocker. It gives me a Cleric. Have a knockoff option. It is just a strong Fairy type as well. So I'm excited to use this Pokemon, even though I've never used it before. And it has Teleport. So a Wish Teleport means that I can safely just heal any Pokemon I want. So I'm excited. Nothing more I can say about CLEFABLE. For my third Pokemon, obviously I said I was looking to a Steel type, and the one that I thought was pretty good value was Duraludon. Now Duraludon cost me 80 points, and obviously this is just a Pokemon I think it's great as a Steel. It only has 2 weaknesses: Fighting and Ground. And I have CLEFABLE to take the fighting damage if to switch into. Duraludon actually has great defense, great special attack. It's fairly fast. 85 speed isn't too bad. It also has Stealth Rock itself. It has, I believe, it has the 2 screens. It is also, I think, can be a support Pokemon. I think it's better as an offensive Pokemon. That special defense is bad, but I mean, I can just slap a heavy assault vest and just increase the bulk incredibly. So, I have used Duraludon before. It was it was Gmax Duraludon, and I think last time I had a problem with I felt like I needed to Gmax him all the time, but I'm glad that I get to try to use Duraludon by itself. Just note, in this league there is no Gmax or Dynamax allowed, so it's pure 6v6. So with that said, I knew I had I basically completed my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, though my Dragon Steel is the same Pokemon, which is not what I really want. On top of that, I am getting a bit of a ground weakness. Clefairy may not be weak against ground, but it's not like it's resisting ground. So I wanted to get a ground immune Pokemon. And the one I saw was a Pokemon I'm familiar with now, and that is Flygon. So I think Flygon allows me to have a Dragon type that is not Duraludon, and he can fill more of the Steel role in the Fairy Dragon Steel Core. On top of that, with Levitate, it's immune to ground type moves. Obviously, a Mole Breaker Pokemon with Earthquake will obviously still hit it, but with that said, I'm excited to use Flygon again. I did exceptionally well for me in the MBL, and it's a Pokemon that I feel like I could explore more than I did in the MBL. Of course, it has lots of what do I say? Some great like a wide variety of coverage moves. And on top of that, it has really good stats. I think it has good, nice 100 speed with 100 attack. 80 special attack is good. I did use that special attack Flygon once in the MBL. So I'm excited to have Flygon. Yeah, and it does have some great moves in Earthquake, a Scale Shot, Outrage. It can Dragon Dance. It can. It has coverage against Fairy with Iron Tail, so I'm excited. That said, I've gone through 4 Pokemons and I've spent 400 points of my 660, and that's the so at this point I'm starting to look at what is trying to resolve my issues with points. That said, also during the draft of Clefable and Duraludon, I actually had a water type in mind. That draft happened while I was asleep, and whilst I was asleep, I noticed that water types, a lot of the water types I wanted to draft were getting picked, and now I'm in a position where I don't have enough points to get some of the water types I really want. So I had to restructure my points, and at this point I still have no idea what water Pokemons I want, because the ones I did are gone. But I did decide, look, I should try to at least start getting a fire water grass core in, and so the grass Pokemon I chose for my 5th pick is TSAREENA. TSAREENA at 60 points I thought was really good. I think a great Pokemon to have. Has such a great ability in Queenly Majesty, which stops priority moves. It has 120 base attack, which is great. It has U-turn to pivot. It has aromatherapy. Its Trop Kick is just a nice attack that I can just slap on, because it can it will lower my opponent's attack on the switch in. On top of that, it is actually one of the main reasons is because of Rapid Spin. This is a spinning, like TSAREENA is my spinner. That way I can remove hazards without removing hazards on my side of the field. I have 2 good stealth rockers, so considering that a rapid spinner it would be really great. I did forget to mention Flagon does have defog, which is my defogger, and CINDERACE's change is another form of hazard control for me, so it's great. I think in terms, it rounds out my team really well. And I think TSAREENA is actually just pretty underrated. I think it also has pretty good bulk. I do classify as a bit of a bulky grass, but it does hit hard. Now, obviously, I have 200 points left for my remaining 5 Pokemons. I don't have a water type. I still don't know at this point what water type I'm gonna get, but I thought I had to start checking off boxes now to get what I want. And one of the Pokemons one type I found that I really need, because I think one time I didn't have one of these and it really hurt me. And then that is a fast electric. So I was looking at one of the fast electrics available, and I thought there was one that was really cheap. And I think it works well. It does what it needs to do. I used it before. I used it in the MBL, and that is RAICHU. Like I said, I used RAICHU in the MBL. It was a great Pokemon to have. It's one of those electrics, I think, that it has options to deal with ground types in Grass Knot and Surf. But on top of that, the consistent Volt Switcher it has Fake Out. It does have Wish, but I've never used Wish on RAICHU before. I think it might know Screens. I don't know about that for sure, but yeah, its abilities, Static and Lightning Rod, are 2 great abilities to have. It just gives me a Volt Switcher so I basically have 4 Volt Turn Pokemons. So I'm doing very good in terms of just ticking off like roles that I want. And RAICHU completes that. It's pretty fast, so at 110, right? Yeah, 110 speed, I believe. So at 40 points, I was happy to use it to grab this Pokemon. I do want to explore more of this RAICHU. MBL was the first time I used it, and I want to just try to push what RAICHU, or what I can do with RAICHU in the YCL. Now for my 7th Pokemon, I honestly I was looking at some. Okay, so I'll just show it. So my 7th Pokemon is MUSHARNA, and at this point I was looking at my team, and there was very few spots on my team left, but there was so much I needed to check off. And one of them I think I'd like to have, though I don't think it's 100% necessary, is a psychic, a bulky psychic. And MUSHARNA is one of those Pokemons that I just love using. It was one of the Pokemons that helped me win my first ever championship. It is such a bulky Pokemon, and it has some of my favorite support moves. It has my favorite support move in Healing Wish, but on top of that, it's just a pretty good psychic type. It does decent damage. It doesn't have the most coverage, but it's still one of those Pokemons I love to use. 2 great abilities in Forewarn and Synchronize. So Forewarn, Synchronize more than Forewarn, but Forewarn is still I think a good underrated ability. And on top of that, it is a Trick Room user, so I think it allows me to not be. I do have a pretty fast team, I think. At this point, before MUSHARNA, CLEFABLE was my slowest Pokemon. So it gives me a Pokemon I can work under Trick Room, and if need be, that I can use Trick Room if I feel that I am facing a very fast team. So um, that said, at this point, I've only got 3 spots left. I don't have a water. I don't have a dark type. I don't have a fighting type. I'm I really need to compress this type roll if I need to do something. I feel like I don't have any good knockoff users. I do have TSAREENA, I believe. Yeah, TSAREENA can use knockoff. Fable could. I don't know how often I would use knockoff on Fable, and RAICHU can, but same kind of thing. I do have Trick with MUSHARNA. But I do want a dark type with knockoff, and I need it at a budget because all the low tier waters are just Pokemons I would never use. Same with some of the dark types. So I really needed to try to compress my rolls here, and the Pokemon that I drafted for my 8th pick is Scraggy. Now, actually, initially I had a different Pokemon, but in the free period grace period trade, I traded up in Scraggy. Scraggy is a dark type and fighting, so it ticks off 2 boxes for me. Sorry. And obviously it's a Pokemon I've never used before. And it's I hope it'll do well. Now, it does have knockoff. I think with the Eviolite, I think can be fairly bulky, or at least bulky enough to maybe get us to set up and start damaging, doing heavy damage. If not, at least like try to sweep. It does have Intimidate. It has Moxie. It has Shed Skin. So I think it has 3 great abilities. Yeah, the main reason is because I think it fits that dark and fighting type role well. To be honest, I actually did have a different fighting type I wanted, but it got sniped about a few spots before it got to my turn. So, but I think it's a blessing in disguise. I got Scraggy. I think Scraggy fits my team really well. It does cover that, gives me that psychic immunity and a ghost resist, which you'll see it's my only ghost resist. Now for my 9th Pokemon, I have 100 points left. Most teams have already sub 100 points at this point. So I knew that if I wasn't to get my water type, if I spend really low, I can get the lowest point I can spend is 20. So if I spend 20 points on my 9th pick, I should be able to get an 80 point water type. And there were a few, I think, good 80 point water types. So at this point, I'm like, okay, what is a low tier pick that could help my team? And the one that sticked out to me was WHIRLIPEDE. I think WHIRLIPEDE allows me to give me a grounded poison, so I'm not as susceptible to toxic spikes. Even though I do have Flygon who can come in on toxic spikes and defog them away, but I think with WHIRLIPEDE it's just easier to do so. And WHIRLIPEDE itself actually has spikes and toxic spikes itself, so I think it gives me an option outside of stealth rocks in terms of hazards. And then if I work with stealth rocks, I could have hazard stacking, which is, I think, something could be very useful for me. So I do look forward to using WHIRLIPEDE. I've never used it before. I'm not even sure if I will use it, to be honest, but hopefully I do find an opportunity to slot in my team in a battle at least. Maybe a team that doesn't have the strongest hazard removal options. I could hazard stack with WHIRLIPEDE, but that said, there's nothing more I can say about Whirlipede. For my last Pokemon, obviously, it's going to be my bulky water. And there was two Pokemons that I gravitated to. In my heart, I wanted to draft Vaporeon, which was at 80 points. It's my favorite Pokemon. But it's like Vaporeon. I wanted to draft Vaporeon like in my heart because it's a good Pokemon. It's my favorite Pokemon, and I think it does help CLEFABLE in the sense that it shares a lot of the same roles, and that way I can use CLEFABLE for more offensive sets. I'm more inclined to use offensive set CLEFABLE than defensive. But the other Pokemon I think fits my team better, and that is Jellicent. Jellicent, like Vaporeon, is a bulky water, but the important thing is that it's part ghost. Even though I do have I don't know if Hazard's going to be a big part of my strategies during week to week, but if I do want a spin blocker, and Jellicent is, I think, just a Pokemon I can use for spin blocking. It's fairly bulky, I think, and it's even bulkier with its Strength Sap. It also can use Will-O-Wisp and Hex. It has access to Scald, so there's a lot of ways to mitigate physical damage with Jellicent. It has high special defense, so it's one of those Pokemons I think works well with my team. And I can't wait to try Jellicent. I don't think I've ever drafted Jellicent in Draft League before, but I have used it outside of like in ranked play. So I'm excited to use Jellicent. So that is my team. I do want to say, like, I think I have a good array of Pokemons, therefore. So I do have a CLEFABLE and Duraludon for the two Stealth Rockers, with Whirlipede doing spikes and toxic spikes. I have some good hazard controls through Court Change, Defog, and some Rapid Spin. I have a lot of Pokemon that know Knockoff. And on top of that, I have two Pokemon that knows Trick. And I do have a lot of Clerics and a lot of ways to control speed through Tailwind and Trick Room. I'm excited to use this team. So yeah, I can't wait for what the YCL will bring. Again, please check out my opponents. We'll check out the other coaches. I don't know. Half of them won't be my opponents, but yeah, just check out the other teams. Like I said, I left the link to their channel in the description below. I don't know when the first match will be, or who I'll be facing, but I hope you stick. I hope to present those battles soon. If you want to keep up with my run of this league, please don't forget to subscribe. But until then, see you, and hope you guys had a great day. Bye.